I wanted to make a quick video to discuss one of the things that makes me feel most like a man. And it's not going to the gym and lifting heavy weight, although that feels awesome. Shout out for the gains, bro. It's not making a bunch of money, although again, that feels great and you feel like you're the provider and everything. It's not necessarily having the hot girl by your side or having the social proof from your brothers. Again, all of those things are hugely valuable. And I think a man's life without those things is empty and sad. But the one thing that always gives me this feeling of, okay, like I'm a man, I'm carrying weight on my shoulders, I'm pushing forward, and I feel motivated to do so, is having responsibility. Responsibility can come in many forms. It can firstly be responsibility for yourself to, make sure you achieve certain objectives in your studies or in your career. It can be the responsibility to carry out these errands that you really have to do, this bit of admin. It can also be, and this is the more fulfilling part, responsibility for others, for your family, for your wife, girlfriend, your mother, your father, for your children. It can be responsibility to support your friends, support your local community. All of these things put some sort of pressure, they apply some sort of stressor on you. But I find that it's the healthy kind of stress. You know how you have good stress and bad stress, right? Like they both increase your cortisol, but good stress is one that actually pushes you to evolve, to do better, to rise to the occasion, whereas negative stress just kind of spikes your cortisol and you get none of the benefits in performance. So this is the good kind of stress I found, having responsibility. When people rely on me or when I rely on myself, I just feel this obligation, this pull to actually perform. You can't really let people down and let yourself down when you're in that state. So naturally, you will just become a better man in that moment. And take the necessary actions to achieve whatever objective you have to achieve. So, for example, I'm supporting my mother financially with the house, right? So I've been supporting the family home for a number of years, and that's responsibility. I know that if I were to ever make a certain amount of money that was insufficient to cover the mortgage, then I knew that the house would be a risk, and then my mother would be a risk as a result. I know that if I wasn't able to cover certain bills in my own place, that my partner and I wouldn't be able to live there anymore. And I knew that if I didn't have the mental fortitude to help a brother who is in need and going through a tough time, then he's going to suffer more because I didn't have the ability to help him. And I know that if I underperform in my studies, my work, or this YouTube channel, then again I'm going to suffer myself. So what I'm trying to say is you need to embrace responsibility. And being raised by a single mother, you might have had plenty of that already. You might have been in the situation where you've already faced the pressure to be the man of the house early, and you knew that your mother was going through a tough period raising you and your siblings, and you kind of stepped up, whether that be financially or doing chores around the house. And in that case, your story was similar to mine. Or maybe you were shielded from responsibility completely, and your mother kind of provided for you and, cooked and cleaned for you and everything, and you were sort of coddled. In either case, and the responsibility is good. If you feel like you've had too much of it, you need to understand that that's actually an advantage because you know what it takes to get through life now. When other kids, teenagers your age, were just worrying about playing video games and just spending mommy and daddy's money, you actually knew that your family, like your household, was poor and that you had to do something about it sooner rather than later. That's fucking powerful. I knew all the money that was coming in and out of the household by age 12. I was aware of the financial situation, and that made me respect the value of money. And it made me understand that you need to safeguard a household by building up savings, by increasing your income, by doing chores that would relieve pressure on from your mother. All of those things you can take forward in your life and sort of get this head start as an adult, when people now who are just coming out of university after partying and taking drugs and fucking girls in clubs and everything, they're just realizing, oh shit, life is real. I actually got to cook and clean and earn money for myself. You've already been doing this for years. And if you haven't had the responsibility, on the other hand, it's now time to actually realize that, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do as a man. I'm supposed to drive things forward. I'm supposed to be, the head of the family and provide direction, provide security. No matter what the feminist propaganda says, no family will suffer from a man who is strong and takes on that role of the provider. So I want you to do this exercise. I want you to think about your life situation and look for opportunities to take on more responsibility. So if you're on the younger side, let's say you're still in school and you live with your mother, well, what can you do to make her life easier? Could it be to, take out the bins more often? Could it be to pack your little sister's lunchbox for school? Could it be to start a weekend job so you can bring in some money to pay for the gas bill? Start small, but then work your way up. And if you're on the older side, if you're already working and you've already got a bunch of responsibility, how can you take on more responsibility that will push you to perform at a higher level? And I'm not saying, start buying a fancy car so you have the responsibility of paying a fucking huge monthly payment. No, but take matters into your own hands. So if you don't currently have enough money and you live in a shitty place, maybe it's a dangerous area and you really want to move out, you want to upgrade your flat, well, then you should feel ashamed of yourself. You should feel some sort of guilt that you are in that situation because of you. Even if that's not entirely true, it will always benefit you to take ownership of the situation. And then think about, okay, how can I increase my income? Can I push for a promotion at work? Can I start a side hustle in the evenings or the weekends? Can I go learn a skill that will provide me another income source 6 months, 12 months down the line? Because time's going to pass by anyway. So always think about ways to take on more responsibility, because it will make you more masculine. And if you're watching this channel, I'm presuming you've been suffering from this lack of masculinity from being raised by a single mother. And I'm telling you that from my own experience, this is one of the best ways to feel more like a man and have that self-confidence. Because, bro, when you have 10, 20 things on your mind and a bunch of people who rely on you and they look up to you for guidance and for security, you're not going to be a jackass. You're not going to be that guy who's not assertive in life, because you can't fucking afford to be. You're going to wake up early and you're going to start to make some decisions, because there's no other way. So I know this sounds kind of, a bit polarizing as a piece of advice, and you might say, well, the young men are already under enough pressure. And the thing is, if you save yourself from pressure and stress now, you'll experience an amplified degree of suffering later. I fully believe that. So the best thing I can advise you is to make yourself strong today by taking on more responsibility, becoming physically and mentally tougher. Keep up your good self-improvement habits, get in the gym, meditate, get good sleep, eat healthy, plan your days, get a good routine, and take on more responsibility. I hope this has given you some inspiration to take on more responsibility. If it has, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can join our communities using the links in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.